Hello, my name's Jason, and welcome back to I Have a Story. Apparently I'm in the mood to rant today, so I'm coming out with another rant. Um, Today I want to talk about electronics. I want to know why we just can't make something that works and leave it alone. I want to know how we are so far supposedly technologically advanced that the stuff that we have is still not working. Why it is so difficult, why so much time, money, and resources are spent on constantly changing the layout of the app to make it look cooler, prettier, but never put any effort into actually making it more usable. Or oftentimes, so many times, we take away the features on the apps that actually did that I used. I mean, so many apps they've updated. Now we just all of a sudden take away features that were actually some of the features I used the most out of that app. Well, why would we remove that option? Like walking backwards. We want to talk so much about global warming and attack the pollution of cars. Do people know and understand what the number one cause of pollution, natural resource depletion, and all of it is? It's consumerism. Do you know how much toxic waste is developed? How much natural resources is pulled from our earth to create all the products that are on market today, which is absolutely unreal what's out there today. As a product tester, I'm getting to see it firsthand. It's unreal what is out today and how much of it and how many people are producing it. And then on top of producing it and the toxicity of producing it, we've also got the extreme toxicity of pulling it from and extracting it from our environment, such as a lot of the metals that we need for building these batteries today. Do the research on what all the pollution is. I'm not going to sit here and make another 4-hour video because that's what it would probably take for me to do all this here myself. I've already done the research. I've watched this stuff. I've actually been out there and seen it firsthand myself in many instances. That's part of why I'm here to talk about it. While it's nice to have stuff, how many of you out there crying and have an electric car sitting in your driveway crying global warming if you actually believe in that? I don't. But if you want to sit there and have that electric car, look around your house and how much stuff do you have sitting around your house and how much stuff do you have that just sits there and you don't ever use. But you want to claim you're so concerned about global warming, but you're going to drive that electric car because it actually made more pollution and made our environment worse producing that car. And it's still taking the same pollution to generate the energy to run that car. What are you actually doing? You're actually, in my opinion, help creating the problem. Another one of those things that all sounds great in our head when we sugarcoat it and don't give you all the proof and evidence and the truth behind the matters. We just make it sound pretty and good and people bite. So one of my big problems I have is the visual problems that I have. It takes me so long to learn how to use all this stuff because I just sit there oftentimes and I can't tell what buttons are what and what they even are. I can't see the symbols and the different indications. I go by, on the right hand side there's a red button, on the left hand side there's a blue. I relate, that's how I have to operate, and then I push buttons and see what they do until I figure it all out. Watch videos and see where they're moving. Oh, their cursor was down on the left hand side. I can't tell which exact box they were pushing on, but to do that feature it's down on the left hand side, so I'll start clicking buttons on the bottom left hand side, and it takes me a long time to learn how to use this stuff. And then I go blind and have visual problems and everything else on top of it, but it's what it takes for me to get this done. It's what I got to do. I hurt myself a lot because I have all of these severe medical conditions and I refuse to roll over and just die. That's what everybody seems to want me to do. Well, it's not happening. I gotta keep making progress and keep doing things. Again, part of why it upsets me so much with these electronics. I can't make progress when every time I turn on my computer, oh, we gotta update all this stuff. You can't use it for an hour and a half. Well, I don't have an hour and a half to wait. I got to get this done and move on to my next appointment, move on to my next thing, whatever. Well, now today again, I'm not getting my videos done because you can't just turn on a computer and it work. Or a phone or any of it. And then it changes its layout and then I got to figure out how to use things all over again. It is driving me absolutely insane. Let me ask you, how long have we had printer technology? Decades and decades and decades? Well, I have a friend last summer who got a new printer in her office. They had to shut down that complete office for nearly 2 weeks. Because for 2 weeks, professionals had to sit in that office trying to figure out how to get the printers to work with the computers in the office. And nobody could use their computers because the professionals who are supposedly trained in professionals on printers. Holy cow. I mean, I admit, I don't know how to put one together. I'm build one. I could if I actually, I mean, you can only build so much and I know how to build a lot, but how did it take 2 weeks that this office made zero production and had to shut down? People not come to work because they could not make a simple printer work. I couldn't do it. I could never work in an office for many reasons, and that's one of them. I cannot stand these electronics. I spend just as much time yelling at them as I do ever getting to use them. It drives me nuts. So why can't we just make something that, oh wait, we can't make something that just works and leave it alone because there's no money in that. That's right. We keep making money off of all of this. Again, consumerism and producing all these different products is what is creating our pollution and our depletion of it's the biggest cause. Now, if all these companies claim, oh, we care so much about that and we want to fight and, you know, look, we're donating money to these causes and that causes to clean up our environment, why don't you all get together and make a product that is the same and interchangeable so we don't have to make tooling and all these dyes and all this equipment and all this stuff to even produce all that product that's all different from one another now because we all make, like, I mean, it's one of my huge things. I'm going to do a video specifically on Apple. How anybody can own an Apple product is beyond me. With what they've done to their consumers and the whole entire market is horrendous. But yet people still support it. Oh my God, praise my $1,200 phone. Ignorance. They ruin the whole market. And they're one corrupt company. But yet they're still one of the biggest because people are stupid. People claim they want to do right and they want to see all this good happening, but you're all supporting bad. That's where your money's going. And they're taking it laughing all the way to the bank. So I really struggle trying to get this stuff done because I turn on my stuff and now it's got to update, reinstall, do this, restart. And then all the format, everything's changed around. And now I got to try to sit here and spend days and days, if not weeks, trying to figure out how to use it all over again. And as soon as I figure it out, bam, they change it again. It is such a struggle. I'm doing too much of this stuff today and my eyes are starting to spasm. My right eye for months now, I've been having terrible problems. Because I'm trying to do all this stuff and I shouldn't be. But I have to. So, if they want to claim all of this, then why aren't they stepping up and actually showing that they care? Why aren't they actually stepping up and making changes? I mean, changes, the things that actually make the right things happen. It's not hard to figure out whatsoever. If we're so worried about global warming and pollution and natural resource depletion and all of it, then why are we not making the actual common sense? I mean, I guess, I don't know, maybe I'm stupid, maybe I'm extremely smart, I don't know. You tell me. Why aren't we making everything all the same? Interchangeable, so we don't need all of these products being made and depleted in our earth and everything else, sitting in warehouses and stacked and piled up everywhere all around the world. If everything was the same, that would change an awful lot right there. If we had the same cords, and we got to have a different cord for every stinking thing you own anymore, if everything ran on the same cord, that right there alone would save a ton of pollution, a ton of natural resource depletion. Back in the day, I was a Chevy man, and I was a Chevy man back in the 80s because they were the blue-collared company. They made their parts interchangeable. I'm a diehard American guy. I drive American products. I have my whole life. Give me a Chevy or a Ford. They both make their good. They both make their bad, just like everybody else. I'm going to do another video about how, in part of why they're struggling and why I'm so against foreign cars. Can't keep up with the market where you can't. You are legally bound to not be allowed to keep up. You can't do it. You can't do it. Not in a market that big. So why can't we make electronics that just work? Why is it such a struggle today with all the technological advancements we have made and everything we are so smart to do? Oh, but we're supposed to actually trust these people to also be able to contain AI and do the right things with it, right? Something that can, in a blink of an eye, wipe out our planet. Something in a blink of an eye can destroy human life as we know it. But let's play with that too, because, well, I guess we can't do anything else right, but we can do that one right? I bet they will. Look at our environment. It's been destroyed by the same people who are still destroying it and still coming out with new things to make it even worse. There can be great in a lot of this, but I'm seeing too much bad happening and not be able to have faith in that it's going to be good. How can I? Especially when I watch them do bad. Watched my video about defund the DNR. I watch them do bad right here in my own backyard. And even though after years of looking at it, and everybody, there's not a single stinking person I know, an individual citizen I know, who looks and goes, this is a good thing. Instead, they are mad, angry, upset, losing so much. Our natural resources that they're losing their lives, they've lost their lives, they've lost their everything over all of this, and now the DNR still says, it's a good thing, let's keep doing it. Let's do it to the rest of the state. That is a conspiracy right there. There is no possible way. I mean, there's only two things. Either they're really that stupid, which I don't believe. I don't believe they're that stupid. Or they're corrupt. I find the corruption more feasible as an explanation. That's kind of where you see where I stuck that too. So this is where I'm struggling all the way around. My family, my kids, my personal life, my freedoms, my rights. My country is letting me down to the point where I'm ready to just fold. I've never, ever, ever been this down in everything around me. And it's not just because I'm down. It's because everything around me is. You cannot look around me and tell me this stuff is good. People here are scared now because of these predator animals in our backyard. But let's go do this to other people. Why don't you talk to the people before you do it? Did you actually investigate and research and see what the harm you actually did? There was nothing, not a single stinking good that came from it, not one. It did nothing but destruction. But you're still going to continue doing it. After years of proof and evidence and the people. This is a tyranny. All of it is. This isn't about the American people anymore. This is about control, power. That's all I see, because something that simple that I just talked about. Turn predator animals loose that have no predators on them, they're going to destroy the environment. And they did. And even after they watched it happen, they want to continue doing it. That is wrong. So no, I can't help but feel in so many ways in this stuff that this is wrong. Because it is. We don't need these here. We don't want them here. And they do no good here. They only do harm. So why continue? So with these electronics, why can't we make something that works? How can these people, Amazon website, constantly bad, constantly having problems, constantly rechanging their formats, constantly trying to figure out how to reuse their stuff again, constantly not working. I do product testing for them. I write reviews, and not only can they not make a setup that, it's great to be in what I'm in. It's honestly been a really, one of the only thing lifting me up and keeping me up is there is enjoyment in something in my life. There it is. But then it hurts me so much to not be able to share it with my kids. And mountains of toys I have for my kids from it that I can't give to them. And I get to sit here and look at them day after day after day. But they still, on Amazon, can't make the website user-friendly. It is still a battle. I still leave reviews. And just to go back and find out, even though it says my review was submitted, it never got submitted, and I got to re-review it all over again. I am a person who cannot stand wasting time in life. I can't stand it. I try to do so much and stay so busy, and I spend so much time not being able to do anything that when I can, I'm going. And I can't stand anything stopping me from getting in the way. And I don't want to say anything because, especially when I'm talking about my children, I loved it when my kids got in the way. Because it distracted me and kind of took my mind off of being so stinking focused on getting things done. My kids showed me how to have fun. They were the thing that kept me out of my past and my pain and my misery. Because I saw a future, not a past, in them. I don't know how to turn the ringer off on this phone yet. I still haven't figured that out. Another thing that was so upsetting about the whole entire phone incident that I've been complaining about over the past several weeks. Now I gotta learn how to use a phone all over again too. It drives me nuts. I don't like it. A phone is a little black box that does the same as every other exact same little black box. Why can't we just make one that works and not cost $1,200 freaking dollars? Oh wait, we didn't have to. Apple came out and said publicly, we charge that much because we can afford to. If nobody buys our product, we don't care. But look, people did buy our product and they paid the $1,200, so now we just screwed you all. And then greed took over and the rest of the companies followed suit. Back then, cell phones, when they did that, cell phones were $600. The top of the line bad cell phone that was outrageously priced was $600. Apple just said, hey, our consumers are stupid. I mean, they came out and talked about this in public. Our consumers are stupid, and we can go out there and charge them whatever they want, and they will eat it and praise us and beg us for more, and then we'll charge them even more and put out updates and take away their aftermarket cords and not allow them to use them anymore so that they have to buy our $30 cord because we can't afford being billionaires and trillionaires and one of the richest companies in the world anymore. We want dominancy. And their ignorant crowd still followed. They destroyed the whole market. Unfortunately, and I wish, when I moved here, that was part of my dream, was to throw these electronics out the window. I told my wife at the time, we're going to have an office. I was building her an office to work in. She wants to be a writer more than anything, and that's where she was going to go to write. She was going to finish working to get our house built and get ourselves, and I was going to do the labor. She was going to make the money. And it's hard for me, and I struggle, but I still keep going, and I have lots of friends and lots of people to help me. I can get it done. It's going to hurt, and I'm going to suffer from it. Just have to try not to push myself to permanent injury like I've done so many times in the past. Part of why I do have the problems I have is because I've pushed myself so hard because I did have to take care of myself still, and I refuse to stop. So why can't we make electronics that just work? Why can't you be happy being billionaires? People don't realize that's a mental illness. God, you gave me $1 million tomorrow, I'd do so much good in this world. I'd have a few nicer things, but I wouldn't be driving no Maserati or anything like that. I would still, it was my dream to build an old hot rod. But I wouldn't be out spending millions of dollars on it. God, I look around, I could spend a couple grand and be happy with things I could have. But we don't get to look, smell, and feel like $1 million doing that, do we? Because that's where mentality's gone. It's not about the things we do in life and who we actually are as a person. Look at the car I drive, the house I live in, and the clothes on my back. That's what makes us who we are today. Part of why I had to get out of society. Where I live, it's not like that anymore. I live in one of the most humble, decent areas I've ever found in my entire life. God, the house I moved from, my neighbors constantly, when are you going to get a new truck? Why would I get a new truck? My truck is tried and true. I've had this thing for 10 years and there's nothing more I'd want than this truck other than a brand new one of that exact truck, which they don't make anymore, so I can't have one. So I'm going to keep my old truck. Well, the truck's ugly. Look, it's getting rust. Look at all the dents in it. Well, yeah, I go buy another truck. What I'm going to do, spend $60,000 for people to hit it all the time? and put dents and dings and all this other stuff into it, and now it's a $2,000 truck overnight? No. I can go out and have fun with my truck, beat it up, run through the woods, play with it. Another dent, it's just another memory. But enough is never enough for people, is it? People aren't content. Can't just be happy with what we have. The worst part is we can't look at what matters most. Kids, our family. I was dedicated and I worked hard to give it to my family. There's a lot of struggles, but I still didn't stop. So I don't know why we can't just make electronics work and leave them alone, and why people have to keep feeding it all again. You can't afford our systems, but you want to cry about putting money into our systems, but you don't have any problem paying $1,200 for a phone and $300 for those pair of shoes on your stinking feet. God, I hope everybody with a pair of $300 shoes goes and steps in a pile of dog poop today. But we don't want to spend our money on what actually matters most. We can spend it on entertainers who get to play games all day. We get to spend it on people who pretend to be something that they're not, whose jobs are so hard that cats and dogs and monkeys can do it. That's where we put our money at, right? Then we want to cry because the world sucks. The world sucks because of you. Maybe not exactly every you that may see this video, and I'm not pointing the finger at every one of you. But these things I'm talking about, that's where the problem is. It's in the people. The people are where the changes need to start being made. But you don't want to. You want to run and hide. You want to be a child. You want to be entertained. Make me feel good. And we'll cry tomorrow about something else, the bad that happens, and not know why. This is why. All the things I have to talk about on this channel is why, exactly why. Not that hard to figure out if you got half a brain. Problem is people don't even want to think about it. They just want to think about having fun. Again, we've turned into a world of adult children. There's a lot of reasons for it. So why can't we just make electronics that work? How did it take 2 weeks for professional people, supposedly professional? I mean, anymore, you say the word professional, I laugh. That don't even mean nothing to me anymore. Kind of like buying any tools and stuff like that has the word heavy duty. If you have to put the word heavy duty in there, that tells me it's going to break. Kind of like a lot of these electronics that say smart. I look at it and I'm like, wow, you were dumb. I mean, honestly, technology is amazing and it is tremendous, but it goes both ways. It's also very dangerous and uncontrollable until we turn into China, and then China can control us, and then it becomes uncontrollable in a different aspect. I don't see any good from that. We should have set limits. We should have gave access to something usable in positive ways, and found ways to at least try to keep them positive. Instead, now we do that in names of ideology. We'll censor you if you say what we don't like, but only if it affects us and the people who are doing that. The things that they're saying is wrong. I seriously struggle with all of this because I want a better world and a better future for my kids, and I am just seeing it fall. I want it to fall. And as long as people keep supporting all of the stuff they're supporting and putting all their money into the wrong baskets, that's exactly what we're going to get. When I gave all that stuff up, because I was in that world myself for most of my life, and when my morals and values really stepped up, I mean, my whole life I have not watched TV. I've been out in the world doing stuff. I've always said, if what you're seeing on that screen is so wonderful, why aren't you out there doing it yourself? There's nothing stopping you other than you'd rather just go home and sit. That's not living. And again, what are you sitting to? Electronics. It's necessarily evil in my world right now. I swore when I moved here it was all going to go away. I don't need it. I don't want it. But now I do. I have to. It's the only way to get my story out there. It's the only way to do this. When I've spent my whole life doing physical labor and being physical, and I've lost that, and I don't have my vision and so many other things that I don't know what else I can do. I tried getting jobs this summer. Nobody wanted to give me a job. I have to explain some things, and some things they just see. And I got really upset. Even distanced myself, and just they wouldn't give me a job. And I need to make money. What do I do? I use what I can. So when we moved here, I was going to build that office, and the electronics stayed there. It did not come in our house. Again, I'm a very educated person. I am trained by the federal government on building and using licensed communication devices. I know the harm that comes from it firsthand. They teach you it. There was a woman who was hired by the cell phone companies to test the dangers of cell phones. Maybe I can post another video. I have to go back and find her. I don't remember her name. I've listened to her lectures and present evidence, and it is very, very alarming and concerning. But they shunned her out and ran her out of here. Her mentality I don't understand. It's something I want to share with people. We spray our air full of poison to supposedly kill mosquitoes because we're so scared that mosquitoes are going to kill us because of West Nile and Lyme disease. Just a few years ago, I looked it up. How many people in my entire state died from mosquitoes? 2. That was all that was reported. 2 people died in the entire state from mosquitoes. This was about 4-ish years ago, I want to say I looked this up. How many people in our state died from cancer? Again, I talk about this so much. We create a problem, and we cover it up with another problem, creating even more problems, and often, in what I see in this case, without a doubt, created an even bigger problem and toxified our environment with poison. A lot more I can talk about that later. God, this world is so just driving me nuts, and I see so much that just is so wrong. And people don't know any better because they just want to go do whatever it is they do at work and then go home and play. I wish I had more of that in me. But that's also part of what's made me the educated person to stand here and be able to sit in front of you and do this. And share the information that I found, I've seen, that I know, and what I've been able to put together out of all of it. I know I ran it on, and this is a big rant. I'm having a day of rant. It's a painful day. It's Halloween. I've already made 2 other videos today. Oh, shoot. And I'm going to have to get up. God, I wish they could figure out what is wrong with me. Even talked to my doctors today. Still no answers after months. And then, again, my rant. Oh, here we go. More rant about electronics and these companies. You've heard me complain and complain over and over about my whole cell phone problems. Talked to my doctor today. I had a stress test done 3 months ago because I was supposed to have, almost a year ago, surgeries and medical procedures done. They got canceled because I was having chest pains. I mean, chest pains to the point where I was falling to the floor and could not stand up. The whole left side of my body going numb. So they canceled all of my surgeries, my procedures, and put them on hold until I could get clearance from a cardiovascular specialist. So So I went in for all my testing, and this was what, 3 months ago. They told me on a Monday I went in. It was a Monday, and they told me my doctor would have the results by Friday. 3 months. I am like 3 months later now, and I still have no answers. And I call my doctor, and we still have no answers. Now they're blaming it on me because I missed my appointments that I didn't know I had because I didn't have a phone, and they couldn't contact me. My phone is what keeps track of all my appointments and reminds me, and again, with the visual problems I have, and it's what I use is my phone to track everything and tell me when I need to be where and what I need to do when. So now they want to blame me, and that was just a week and a half-ish ago that all of that took place, 2 weeks ago. But yet these tests and results were supposed to be back 3 months ago, but now all of a sudden I recorded that conversation. I'm sure I'll be airing all of this. God, I'm so sick of it. But yet we still have no answers. And we want to know what you're even calling for. Wait, I already called and left a message and told you exactly what I want. I need my notices for court. Do you guys have that yet? No, we haven't. We don't have that. We got a doctor still has to go through all your paperwork, hasn't gone through your medical files, still doesn't put it all together yet. Well, I had 1 week to get it to the court. It has now been 2 months. This is court. I guess that doesn't mean anything to anybody. I mean, does anybody do their job anymore? I don't know what kind of trouble I'm facing when I go back to court next week and still don't have the documents and paperwork from my doctor that months later, I mean, Jesus Christ. I have it from other doctors, permanently disabled. I have years and years and years of medical testing procedures, all of it done. Oh, let's say we got to keep doing it again because people keep screwing your stuff up. I'm going to lose it all. When I lose it all, I'm going to lose it all. I don't want it to happen. I want to live. I want to raise my kids and have a prosperous future and a life. Maybe another woman to love one day. But our whole system's just taking it all from me. These women have taken it provably all from me. And then you take these women to court for the illegal acts that they have provably made. And the court doesn't even want to hear it. That's why we're here, is to hear it. No, we're not even going to talk about it. Hun, what is your problem? Wait, we're here because of me. I'm the one who filed in court. Again and again and again. And we show up and you're not even going to let me talk. We're going to listen to her again. Which I can prove is lies again. This is the system. They are going to push me over the edge. And that's why I'm doing this. If I do go over the edge, everybody's going to know why. I'm here trying to stop that from happening. And I'm begging for help. How do you fight a corrupt system that can control your whole life and take it away from you? I'm a peasant fighting a king is what I am. David fighting Goliath. God. All right, I can't sit anymore. Well, I guess that's my rant in this video. Got a lot to rant about, but these electronics, I have been sitting here just absolutely irate with them, and I'm so sick of using them. I'm so sick of not being able to use them, and not even just because of my problems that I have, which is already tough enough to face and deal with and do, but the fact that this stuff just can't work right. Can't be compatible. Gotta keep changing the layout so it looks pretty here. Aren't you happy now? Look how pretty it is. And I still can't use it, so what the hell difference does it make what it looks like? Polish it with all the wax you want and make it shine. It still don't work right. I don't care. I'm still upset in not making progress in my life. I guess that's one other thing I want to touch on. Talking about progress in life. My kid's mom had a job working from home where she was in control of a team who hired people for a living. Now on that team, only one person in 60 or 90 days, was it, that was successful and hired one candidate out of like 10, 12, maybe it was even like 20 employees. And he was absolutely praised. I absolutely could not go to work. I struggle every day in everyday life not going to work and not making progress in life. How can you go to work every single day for months and fail and never, ever, not one time ever have one success and still be a positive mental person? I know I could not do it. I couldn't. I've got to be successful. I've got to make progress. But in that industry, and what does that do to people? When you cannot be successful, groups of people cannot be successful and even make one success in their job. What does that do to their mentality? I know it would really hurt mine. I cannot not be successful. Part of why I'm so driven and am so successful at so many things I do, because I'm driven to be successful. I couldn't imagine going to work and not being able to be successful. Part of my problem with these electronics, they're impeding my ability to be successful. They are wasting my time, wasting my life just sitting here watching wheels spin on a screen. How can anybody do it? I've met so many people who go to work and are so happy. I didn't do anything today. How can that make you happy? How can you get happiness out of nothing? There's no pride in it. There's no value in it. How can you be proud of that? How can you be proud to be nothing? Okay, I'll close it with that. That's the end of the rant. Well, I hope anybody actually watches this video and watches it to the end has a good day. And I'll see you next time.